A unanimous Supreme Court decision came down this morning that fundamentally rewrites gun law in America. And here's what makes this historic. All 9 justices agreed, including the 3 liberal justices who have consistently voted to uphold gun restrictions. When Sonia Sotomayor, Elena Kagan, and Ketanji Brown Jackson joined the conservative majority in striking down gun control laws, you know something massive just happened. This 9-0 ruling just invalidated major gun restrictions in all 50 states, and fundamentally changed what governments can do to regulate firearms. Hit that subscribe button right now, because this decision affects every gun owner and every person considering gun ownership in America. The fact that this was unanimous, not 5-4, not 6-3, but 9-0, tells you that state and federal gun control had become so extreme that even the court's most liberal members couldn't defend it anymore. Here's what just happened. On April 24th, 2026, the Supreme Court issued its decision in United States versus Henderson, a consolidated case reviewing federal and state gun regulations under the Second Amendment. The court ruled 9-0 that strict scrutiny, the highest level of constitutional review, applies to all Second Amendment restrictions. More importantly, the court struck down 5 categories of gun regulations that exist in nearly every state: permit to purchase requirements, mandatory waiting periods beyond background check time, training mandates as permit prerequisites, good cause requirements, and discretionary approval systems. Chief Justice Roberts wrote the majority opinion joined by all 8 other justices. Here's the critical language. The Second Amendment codifies a pre-existing right. Government may not condition the exercise of this right on permission, approval, or delay beyond what is necessary to verify eligibility. The default is liberty. Restrictions require the highest level of justification. Let me break down exactly what this ruling does, how it affects each state differently, what gun owners can now do legally, how states are responding, and the critical next steps to lock in this victory. Number 1. Here's what the Supreme Court struck down with this 9-0 decision. The court identified 5 categories of gun regulations that fail constitutional scrutiny and are now unenforceable nationwide. Category 1. Permit to purchase systems that require government approval before buying firearms. This includes laws in Illinois, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Maryland, New Jersey, Hawaii, and Rhode Island that make you get a permit card before purchasing a handgun. The court held these are prior restraints on constitutional rights that cannot be justified. Category 2. Waiting periods that extend beyond the time needed to complete background checks. Most states have waiting periods. California's 10-day wait, Florida's 3-day wait, Rhode Island's 7-day wait. The court said states can require background checks, but once the check is complete, delay is unconstitutional. Category 3. Mandatory training requirements as prerequisites for carrying or owning firearms. States cannot require you to complete government-approved training courses before exercising Second Amendment rights. Training can be offered and encouraged, but not mandated. Category 4. Good cause or proper purpose requirements for carry permits. The few remaining may issue states, California, Hawaii, Maryland, and some counties, can no longer require applicants to prove special need for self-defense. Category 5. Discretionary approval systems where officials have subjective authority to deny permits. All permits must be shall issue based on objective criteria. No more discretion to deny based on nebulous suitability standards. Number 2. How this affects all 50 states differently. Some states lose dozens of restrictions. Others are barely affected. Most affected states losing 10+ restrictions. California, New York, New Jersey, Maryland, Massachusetts, Hawaii, Illinois, Connecticut, Delaware, Rhode Island. These had permit to purchase, long waiting periods, training mandates, may issue carry, and discretionary denials, all now unconstitutional. Moderately affected, losing 3 to 5 restrictions: Washington, Oregon, Colorado, Minnesota, Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Florida. Some waiting periods, training requirements, or local discretionary systems now invalid. Minimally affected, losing 0 to 2 restrictions. The 25 constitutional carry states plus shall issue states with minimal requirements. Specific state changes. California's 10-day wait reduced to background check time, 1 to 2 hours. Firearm safety certificate now voluntary. May issue counties become shall issue. New York. Training requirements void. Illinois, void card system struck down. 72-hour wait gone. New Jersey, permit to purchase invalidated. Number 3. Here's what gun owners can now do legally that was prohibited before. This ruling expands gun rights immediately in restrictive states. You can now purchase firearms without permit cards in states that required permits to purchase: IL, MA, CT, MD, NJ, High, RI. You can now buy handguns with just a background check, like buying a rifle. Walk into a store, pass the check, walk out with your gun. You can now carry concealed without proving special need in remaining may-issue jurisdictions. You no longer need to prove you face specific threats. The right to carry is presumed. Apply, pass the background check, get your permit. You can now buy firearms without waiting weeks. No more 7-day, 10-day, or 14-day mandatory holds. States can still run background checks, but once complete, they must release the firearm immediately. You can now carry without completing mandatory training courses. States that required 8-hour, 16-hour, or multi-day training before issuing permits can no longer enforce those requirements. Training is recommended, but not required. You can now apply for permits without discretionary denial risk. Officials cannot deny based on subjective judgment. If you meet objective criteria, age, background check, not prohibited, they must issue. Quick legal note: this is educational information about the Supreme Court decision and its impact on gun laws. This is not legal advice. Gun laws are changing rapidly. Always verify current requirements in your jurisdiction and consult with a firearms attorney before making legal decisions. Number 4. How states are responding. Responses fall into 3 categories: immediate compliance, delayed compliance, and resistance. Constitutional carry states and most shall-issue states say they're already compliant. Texas, Florida, Georgia, Arizona, Tennessee, unchanged. Delayed compliance: California, Washington, Oregon, Colorado. Need 30 to 90 days to update systems, train staff, revise forms. Resistance: New York, New Jersey, Illinois, Maryland, Massachusetts, Hawaii. Exploring workarounds: they'll replace permit to purchase with mandatory free training. Waiting periods with cooling off justifications. May issue with shall issue plus 20 difficult objective requirements. Gun rights organizations are preparing to challenge every workaround. Strict scrutiny makes new restrictions very hard to justify. Number 5. Why this 9-0 vote is historically significant. Unanimous decisions in major constitutional cases are extremely rare. No previous Second Amendment case was unanimous. All were split. That Justices Sotomayor, Kagan, and Jackson joined signals gun control had become constitutionally indefensible. These justices dissented in every gun rights case, but even they couldn't defend permit to purchase, extended waiting periods, and discretionary denials. Roberts wrote a remarkably strong opinion, establishing strict scrutiny, the same standard used for free speech and religious liberty. Government must prove restrictions are narrowly tailored to serve compelling interests using least restrictive means. This framework dooms most gun control, assault weapon bans, magazine limits, age restrictions beyond 18, and red flag laws without strong due process will face strict scrutiny challenges. The court also rejected interest balancing. Rights don't depend on judges' policy preferences. The Second Amendment means what it meant at ratification. Number 6. What this means for future gun legislation. This ruling changes gun policy debates fundamentally. For Congress, new federal gun control nearly impossible under strict scrutiny. Universal background checks might pass if narrowly tailored. Assault weapon bans won't. Magazine limits won't. For state legislatures, era of experimental gun control is over. Every law must be historically grounded and narrowly tailored from day one. For courts, every gun case now uses strict scrutiny. No more deferring to legislative judgment. For gun owners, litigation just became much more winnable. Even entrenched restrictions are vulnerable. Number 7. Here's your action plan to take advantage of this ruling and protect your expanded rights. Action Step 1. Know what changed in your state. If you're in CA, NY, NJ, IL, MA, MD, high CT, DE, or RI, major restrictions just fell. Research exactly what's now unenforceable and what's still required. Action Step 2. Exercise your newly recognized rights. If you've been waiting to buy a gun because of permit requirements or waiting periods, now is the time. Don't let temporary workarounds restrict what the court just protected. Action Step 3. Get carry permits under the new shall issue standard. If you're in a former may issue jurisdiction, apply now before states try to create new objective barriers. Action Step 4. Document state resistance. If officials try to enforce invalidated laws, document everything. File complaints. Contact gun rights organizations. State violations of Supreme Court rulings are grounds for federal civil rights lawsuits. Action Step 5. Support litigation groups. SAF, FPC and others will challenge state workarounds. They need funding and members to fight the next wave of restrictions. Action Step 6. Stay informed about new legislation. States will pass compliance bills that really just shift burdens. Track what's proposed and oppose unconstitutional replacements. Action Step 7. Vote for gun rights. This ruling only happened because presidents appointed justices who respect the Constitution. Elections determine whether these victories are protected or reversed. Here's the bottom line. The Supreme Court just issued a unanimous 9-0 decision striking down major gun restrictions in all 50 states and establishing strict scrutiny for all Second Amendment cases. Permit to purchase, extended waiting periods, training mandates, good cause requirements, and discretionary approval are unconstitutional. The most restrictive states just lost 10+ major restrictions. Gun owners can now buy firearms without permits, carry without proving special need, and exercise rights without government approval. The 9-0 vote tells you even liberal justices recognize gun control had gone too far. The constitutional question is settled, but states will resist with workarounds designed to comply technically while burdening rights. Stay vigilant. Support litigation and exercise rights before new restrictions take effect. This is the most important gun rights victory in American history. More significant than Heller, McDonald, or Bruin. Strict scrutiny changes everything. Remember, this is educational information about Supreme Court decisions. Always consult with an attorney for specific legal situations. All 50 states are on notice. Gun rights just won at the highest level. Use them. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one, where we break down the first challenges to state workaround legislation.